Hi my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be creating with these beautiful products in front of me from Creative Memories and to create a layout for you all. These particular products were part of the recent mystery box that Creative Memories released. For those of you who don't know, once every quarter there's a mystery box of products released. And if you've ever sat on the fence about buying the mystery box because you're unsure of, what you're going to get in it, this will just show you. I'm always happy with every mystery box that I purchase. The collection that was in the box is called Copper Canyon. And what I'm showing you here, this isn't even everything that was in the mystery box. There were a couple of other products as well, but I've just pulled these particular products because I think I'm going to work with them on my layout today. But there was some foiled rub-on transfers. These would be great on a card as well, or a tag. You can use them on your scrapbooking layouts. There were actually 2 packets of embellishments. There was this one with the layered frames, and it also had some little layered tags. I really love these. They always look really great on your layouts. And there was a second pack of embellishments, and they had these beautiful leaves and lots of copper foiled embellishments as well. You can see there, I hope you can see there on my camera, just picking up the glint there of the copper foiling. Lots and lots of big titles. You know I love big titles, so I was really happy to see these. There was a really cute packet of paper clips. Again, great for tags, great for cards, but these are also great on your scrapbooking layouts, and I think I am going to add these to my page today. There was also a limited edition coloured multi-purpose tool. The regular multi-purpose tool, I'm getting all tongue-tied, multi-purpose tool from Creative Memories is the trademark blue and white, and this one was the beautiful teal green, which coordinates with the colour palette of this Copper Canyon collection. And there was, of course, a beautiful designer paper pack. You can see there by the cover sheet some of the patterns and the tones included in the paper pack. And of course, Creative Memories have listed the colours of cardstock that they feel will coordinate with these papers, which I always love that they do. Now, I've been busy off camera making some paper flowers because today's layout is, again, paper flowers. You know how much I love paper flowers. Now, I am going to admit to you, I used my silhouette cameo to cut out these flowers. However, if you don't have a silhouette, if you don't have a Cricut, you can still recreate this layout. I've got a bunch of tutorials here on my YouTube channel that shows you how to make some paper flowers just with your scissors and punches from Creative Memories. So I'm going to list some of them. I'll list them below this video that you can check out. So don't feel because you don't have a silhouette cameo or a Cricut machine that you can't create these flowers, because you can create something similar. For my silhouette users, I actually just went into the Silhouette Design store and I searched layered flowers. Bunch of designs came up, and this particular one is by a designer called Laurie Whitlock. You could probably search her name in the design store to find the exact same flower, but it's just a lovely simple little design that I've layered together, and I've just added a pearl from my stash. I've got a little crafty stash of pearls and little sequin adhesives that I keep, and I've just added one to the center there. So they are my flowers. I've already got my photos printed and cut out. I'm again working with some smaller sized photos. I touched base on that on my last video on how I like to resize my photos. So I've got 2 3x4 photos, and for something different, I've actually got 2 2x2 photos, which I just thought were really cute that we're going to add to the page as well. These were just resized in the Project Life app, and then I've just printed them at home how I would normally, print my photos. So very simple to do, but let's get started. Now I'm going to work with the Hot Fudge cardstock as my very base for this layout, and I really liked the wood grain effect of this designer paper. It's sort of got the teal marble effect on the back, but I just thought that tone with the wheat fields that feature in my little photos, I just thought that it had a really rustic effect there. That would look really nice. So I'm going to cut this paper down a little bit. Again, by all means, if you wish to conserve your cardstock, you can gut the center of that first, and what you remove can obviously be used to mat your photos. I usually only like a thin border of cardstock showing, but it's completely up to you how much you cut off your designer paper. I'm going with 11.75 by 11.75, so I'm just removing that small amount. Just line that up. Okay, so once you've trimmed that down and if you've removed the center of your cardstock, it's just a matter of centering that paper on the cardstock so that you've got a nice 1/8 of an inch border. It's nice and even going around the outside. My cardstock's crooked on my cutting mat there, which doesn't help. There we go. When you're happy with where that's sitting, find my adhesive tape. It's here somewhere, buried. There it is. We can stick that down into place. Same for the other side. All right, so with that completed, I'm going to just bring in a second piece of the designer paper. It's this soft tealy green. It's sort of grainy. It sort of looks like a weathered wood, the design of that. But I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches wide. And we just need to cut the length of that to 11.75 as well. We're going to stick that through the center of our page. Now, before I adhere that into place, I am actually just going to texturize the edges just a little bit. And I'm just opening out the blade of my scissors. If you've got a distress tool, by all means, use that. But I'm just going to run the blade of my scissors along that top and bottom edge, just to rough it up that little bit, because I want a little bit of texture in this layout. I want it to look rustic. We are actually heading towards autumn at a fast, alarming rate here in Australia. March is the start of autumn for us. So I actually really think the colour palette of this collection is great for autumn here in Australia. I know for my friends in the US and Canada, you would be very excited for the approach of spring. Okay, so once we're happy with our texturized edges, we can stick that down into place. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got even width at both the top and the bottom of this strip. So I've left 3.5 inches at the top and 3.5 inches exposed at the bottom. And once it's stuck down, I'm actually just going to use my fingers just to rough up those edges just a little bit more. Don't worry if it rips, that's exactly what we're after. Like so. Okay, so now I can bring in my photos, and the idea that I had for these was to layer my 2 3x4 photos here, and then I was actually thinking of having my little ones sort of trailing down the bottom here. And I'm positioning them so you can see this little one, she's sort of looking over towards the right, so I'm going to place her on that side, and I had a lot of open sky on this little photo, so probably just going to cover that a little bit with the other photo on the top of that, and she's sort of facing back towards the left in that top one. It's always really good to think about the positioning of your photos because it can really change the overall effect of your page. I'm sort of thinking 2 up the top here like so. I've got 2 little ones, and then I would like to bring in my little layered flowers that we created and sort of just layer them in and around my photos. And I also want to use one of these layered tags as well, but this is basically the idea that I had in my mind, and I'm using all different sizes. Oh, I love flowers. I always just lift a layout so well. You can never have too many on a page, I think. So they're sort of scattered across the page like so, and then I would like to bring in my embellishments obviously and position some of the leaves and things behind the flowers. But what I'm actually going to go ahead and do, I really want to get these photos stuck into place, and I'm going to adhere them to the page with foam squares. Because I'm working with these layered flowers, there's a lot of dimension in these already, and ultimately you want your photos to be the star of the page. So we want them to be able to sit up from the page. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of repositional tape to the back of that photo and just stick that over the top of the other, which will join those. And then I can come in with my foam squares and add those to the back of the photo. I know smaller photos aren't everybody's jam. A lot of you don't like to resize them, or you don't like to cut them down, and that's fine. You do you, what suits you best, and what you like to work with for your page. But you know, you may not position your photos or have them the same size if you recreate this page, but just make it work for you and what makes you happy. So I can flip that over and I'll stick that about there. And I'm just going to do the same thing for these 2 little guys. I mean, they're the 2 smallest little photos, but I think they're really sweet. I'm just going to add a little bit of tape to behind that one to connect them. Put them on an angle. And then again, I'm just going to use my foam squares. So, as I mentioned, these photos are 3 by 4. And I've cut the photo mats from Hot Fudge cardstock, and they were 3.25 by 4.25. And then these 2 smaller photos were 2 by 2, and the photo mats are 2.25 by 2.25. Okay, so that has our photos into place. I really want to use one of these layered tag embellishments. So let's tear open this packet. Oh, there's an opening at the bottom. Is it always the way? I didn't have to remove it from the cover. Oh dear. All right, so we've opened our packet. Okay, we've got Life is Full of Adventures, and I immediately love that one. Make this day count. Everyone has a story to tell, and loving this moment. I think I'm going to go with this little tag here. We can work that in somehow, and then I'll get back to how we had these layered before. So I just had that tucked in. Put another one tucked around there. And then I want to add a few more to the base, just varying the size. It's just a matter of, you know, placing them in and just seeing what works for you. Fantastic. So when you're happy, with how you've positioned your little flowers, it's just a matter of then coming in with your tape and sticking them into place. The time has been saved with these flowers because of I had them, you know, already cut and prepared off camera. They can take a little while to get completed. Some more here. And you find once you add the leaves in with your flowers, that really just complements the whole thing and finishes everything off so nicely. Okay, that's those into place. I'm going to bring in my embellishments here. And as I said, there's a whole bunch of these foiled copper leaves as well as the teal green that I think I'd like to add sort of tucked in and around our photos. Takes on a whole different look once you add the leaves to your page. A large one there. And I think I'm going to use some foam squares on this tag as well. I'd like to add a large title here, and I've got an arrow for up there. Okay, so I'm going to stick down what I have in place there at the moment. I'm just going to run some tape down one side of that tag and foam squares down the other because I still want this risen from my page as well. So that'll stick in nicely there. And then we can adhere these other leaves into place. Now I've also just got here my 5-leaf punch from Creative Memories. This is no longer available. You may have one in your stash or something similar, but I just would like to add a few extra leaves from some of the designer paper. I'd love for this punch to be one of the bring back punches that they do every now and then. I use mine all the time, as you will, some of you will already know. So I'm going to bring back in another sheet of designer paper, and I'd really like to use both sides of this. Okay, we'll start with that. And we can just add these as little extras to the page. I like to fold up the leaves just a little bit. Pinch them if you like. Just adds a nice bit of texture to your page. It's also just balancing out those flowers nicely as well. Okay, so I'm happy with the balance of all those little flowers and the leaves. So I'm going to come in now and just finish off with some of these extra little embellishments. And the Simply Wonderful title, I'm just going to add just below that photo there. Again, I'll use some of the smaller foam squares. And we've got our little arrow up the top here. Like so. Now we also had, and I love to add journaling to my pages, but there was also a heap of these little sub phrases here that we can include on the page as well. We've got You're the Best, This Makes Me Smile, Beauty is Everywhere. So I think I'd like to add just a couple of these to the bottom. So I'm just going to add 2 below that main title. We've got This Makes Me Smile and You're the Best. Now I am going to add one of these cutie little paper clips. Let's open the packet properly this time. I'm just going to add it to the top of this photo. Just going to, I hope the foam square won't be in the way there. No. So just a cute little love heart paper clip just to enhance the top there. And I'm just going to open up my little Copper Canyon rub-ons here. Now this is where we will use our multi-purpose tool, but I really love these little hearts that are on this second sheet here. I think they're gorgeous. What I like to do, I actually like to cut mine out to show you, like so, and you peel away that base paper, okay, and then actually what I should have done, I'm only going to do one at a time, whoops, and then it's just a matter of positioning it where you would like it on the page and using the flat end of your multi-purpose tool. You just rub and make sure that you rub over the entire design like so. And then just use your stick to peel that out of the way. Isn't that cool? I love rub-ons, I think they're great. So again with my smaller one here, just going to place that where I want it on my page. And just rub it with my multi-purpose tool. And then peel it away. We might pop another one. I love this large heart here. I'm just going to cut that out. And we can peel the backing. We could stick it there and rub it with our tool. It's very important that you just make sure that you've covered the entire surface. You don't need to use extreme force or anything because you do find they are a little bit sticky anyway. And then just peel your paper away. So that has my page all completed. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it come together today, and perhaps you'll give it a try for yourselves. Don't forget, I will link those other tutorials below this video from where I've made paper flowers if you don't have access to an electronic cutting machine for your cut files. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. It means the world to me. It'd be great if you could give this video a thumbs up. It's the best way to support my creative channel. But for now, take care everybody, and I will see you very soon. Bye.